In this video, we'll explain how I can control my emotions and what causes them. Is it normal to feel this way? Today, we will pursue the question, why do I feel this way? We will view emotions not as problems, but as signal lights within the anatomy of your soul. We will examine the biological, psychological, and metaphysical sources of emotions through the lens of different disciplines. We will define stations such as anger, sadness, joy, and depression one by one, along with their causes, archetypes, and spiritual counterparts. We will discuss how to harness this complex mechanism and transform it into that unshakable balance we call peace through practical and spiritual techniques. By the way, in each video, we'll dive deeper into a new topic. Don't forget to subscribe to join us. If you are ready, we begin speaking, not of the pain, but of the workings of this massive system. Perhaps it is an unprovoked anger or a void that hasn't left for weeks. Most people mistake their emotions for uncontrollable weather. Sometimes the sun shines, sometimes a storm breaks, and you just wait. Yet the truth is far more jarring. Emotions are not your fate, they are encrypted messages sent to you by your soul. Why do we feel? The answer depends on which mirror you look into. However, to fully understand the system, we need all three mirrors. The view of modern psychology, biological adaptation. Science tells us that emotions are survival mechanisms. The limbic system in your brain, particularly the amygdala, scans everything around you as either a threat or a reward. Fear directs you to flee. Joy directs you toward resources that keep you alive, such as food or socialization. Chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin are actually commands your brain gives you. You are on the right track, or you are in danger. You merely feel the results of this chemical storm. For Carl Jung, emotions go much deeper. They are the energies of complexes and ancient archetypes surfacing from the unconscious. If your reaction to an event is far larger than its actual scale, a complex has been triggered. This means in that moment, you are reacting not just to today's event, but with your childhood traumas or the shared memory of humanity, the collective unconscious. Sufism carries the source further, to the collective of latifas, subtleties. Emotions are a communication between the ego, nafs, the heart, and the soul. That expansion or contraction you feel in your heart stems either from a worldly desire of your ego or a divine inspiration reaching your soul. Here, emotion is a tool of trial. Is it drawing you toward the center or imprisoning you within the surrounding illusions? Every emotion has a reason and a service. We cannot harness them without naming them. Anger, the explosion of the suppressed. Anger is born of a sense of frustration or threat. From a Jungian perspective, anger is a perfect shadow projection. That trait in the person across from you that infuriates you is actually a part of yourself that you cannot accept and have suppressed. Sufism, on the other hand, finds pride at the root of anger. The ego that asks, "Why didn't what I want happen?" turns into fire when it loses control. Sadness, the echo of loss and attachment. Sadness generally arises from a loss. Yet, as Al-Kindi noted, the root of most sadness is an excessive attachment to transient worldly blessings. Forgetting the immutable self and clinging to that which changes and passes away, objects, people, or status, brings an inevitable sorrow. In Sufism, huzun is sometimes a sign of longing, a spiritual anxiety that draws the servant closer to the divine. Joy, Bast, the heart breathing. Biologically a reward mechanism, joy is called the state of Bast in Sufism. It is the heart opening to divine grace and spiritual inspiration. However, balance is required even here, because uncontrolled joy or extravagance can inflate the ego and detach the person from their center. Mistaking depression for just being very sad is a great misconception. Depression is the total withdrawal of life energy, the libido. According to Jung, depression is living contrary to one's own authentic nature. Your ego has inflated so much or gone so far in the wrong direction that the system shuts itself down, imprisoning you in bed. This is not a punishment. It is the system's way of saying, "Stop and look within." In Sufism, this state is sometimes a divine discipline and sometimes a trial. It is the quiet incubation period of the soul before moving to a higher station. How to exit? The first mistake to make here is trying to suppress this state. The way out is to enter into the symptom. According to cognitive behavioral therapy, returning to reality by questioning negative automatic thoughts, "I am worthless, nothing will get better," with evidence. According to Jung's shadow integration, accepting the parts that remain in the dark, spiritual treatment, remembering that this state of contraction has an end through patience, repentance, and dicker, remembrance. So, is the goal to destroy emotions and turn into a robot? Absolutely not. Our goal is to harness these wild horses with the mastery of a charioteer. Physical intervention. Surprise the body in moments of anger or anxiety. Standing up if you are sitting, or performing a deep breathing exercise instantly cuts off the biological signal path. Active imagination. Imagine that intense emotion coming from the unconscious as a figure and speak with it in your mind. Asking, "What are you trying to tell me?" releases the autonomous energy of the emotion. Contemplation and muraqabah. Pass through the emotion and remember that it is transient, while that which is eternal is yourself, the soul. The ideal state. Peace is not the absence of emotions, but a state of balance. The point that psychology calls flexibility and Sufism calls the balance between fear and hope. The state of being Mutmainne, tranquil, where the heart is tied only to the center and the external storms only ripple the surface but cannot disturb the depths. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I a victim of these emotions or the manager of this massive system? If this video lit a small light on your inner journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Anatomy of self. Because you cannot manage what you do not understand.